All right, family. We need to talk because apparently we can't trust nothing these days. Not our spices, not our protein shakes, nothing. I'm talking about cinnamon. Yes, the same cinnamon y'all sprinkle on your oatmeal and fresh toast being recalled in 16 different brands because of lead contamination. And if that wasn't bad enough, now we're finding out a bunch of protein powders. The one we use for smoothies, workouts, and meal replacements are also full of lead and heavy metals too. So, you mean to tell me we can't even get strong or season our food without getting poisoned? Nah, let's talk about what's really going on here. What's up, family? Welcome back to Insider Scoop, where we break down the wild stuff that's going on in the world that nobody's paying enough attention to. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell, share the video, and drop your city and state in the comments because I need to know where my health conscious crew is watching from. And if this recall hit your area too. All right, let's get into it.
Well, now to some alarming news about the levels of lead in some protein powders and shakes. In a new investigation from Consumer Reports, researchers analyzed a wide range of protein products. Of the 23 powders and shakes tested, the report found more than 2/3 of the products had more lead in one serving than would.
I'm going to stop it right there. So boom. Now, the FDA just expanded that recall. Now, again, it does include those 16 brands of ground cinnamon that I mentioned. And they found elevated levels of lead in several brands sold across the country and cinnamon. I mean, I get wanting a little spice, but I wasn't asking for heavy metal with my breakfast, right? So we're going to go over those brands a little bit later in this video for the cinnamon and the protein as well. And what they're telling people is to throw it out immediately. Don't eat it, don't donate it, don't try it. Don't even use a little bit. No, toss it. And before y'all say, oh, that's probably just dollar to store stuff. No, ma'am, no, sir. This contamination can happen anywhere, cheap or fancy. What's crazy is, though, it's not even the first time, but real talk, how many of y'all checked your spice cabinet after hearing this story? I know some of y'all got that same jar of cinnamon from 2018 still sitting there. So, are you tossing it today or are you saying, child, we'll take our chances? Be honest. But I do want to be serious. This is the toxic effect of lead diagram. I want to be serious because lead, it ain't nothing to play with. Even a tiny amount over time, it can mess you up. We're talking about brain damage, developmental delay in kids, kidney problems, and even high blood pressure in adults. And this is the part that made me upset is that you can't even see or smell it. You don't know it's there until it's too late. So we're out here thinking we're being healthy, sprinkling in our cinnamon on our oatmeal. Meanwhile, our body's like, here's some tactics for you. So let me ask y'all, how many of y'all even knew cinnamon could carry lead? Because I sure didn't. Do you think that we should be testing our spices more often, or is it on the companies to make sure that this stuff never hit the shelves anyway? What do you think? But if you just look at the diagram, you'll see how terrible that is and all the ways that it can affect us. So before I get into that list really quick, I do want to talk about something else that hit me in the gut: protein powders. Consumer Reports tested a bunch of popular brands, and y'all, over 2/3 of them had lead, cadmium, or arsenic in them. And get this, some of the ones labeled organic, plant-based, or clean had the worst contamination. So while we're over here thinking that we're being healthy, shaking up poison in the blender, they said plant-based proteins, especially the ones made from rice and peas, are the worst ones. And it's because those they soak up whatever is in the soil. And if that soil has heavy metals, then boom, it ends up in your powder. So who's using protein powder right now? Drop the brand you use in the comments. I'm curious. And are you still drinking it after hearing this? Because listen, I might be switching the eggs and peanut butter for my protein. Let's get into that list of those recalls. Okay, I want to quickly show you guys the 16 brands of cinnamon that was recalled and also the list of protein powders that was recalled. I got them from two reputable sites. This one is from today.com. So that way you guys can note these down. Here is that specific list. That's where it starts here. You can, of course, pause the video in order to jot these down. Those are the 16 for that. And I'm going to switch on over to USA Today. This is the list of the protein powders. So let's start. This is at the very top. And yes, that does say vegan, that does say organic, plant-based. This is the Center for Disease Control and Prevention at cdc.gov. You can always come to this website and research important things like that. So if you were to scroll down, not that far, let's go over here to the L's. You can type in lead, or if you like, you can scroll on down and it will take you there. There it is. You can click here. You can find out about the risk factors, symptoms, and prevention. You definitely want to come to this site to learn more. And then if you go back, it will tell you about lead poisoning prevention, especially in children. And you can come here to get more information about that. So I know a lot of you guys may be wondering, how does it even happen? Again, you could come to this site to learn more about it. And once again, it's the soul. A lot of the spices and plants used in these products are grown overseas. And that's the thing that a lot of people really don't speak too much on, but when they're grown overseas, depending on the country, the soil, the water, and the packaging can all be contaminated. And also, for those of you who don't like to read too much, there is a YouTube channel that has a really good in-depth educational video about this.
Caused by increased concentrations of lead in the blood. Now, lead itself is a heavy metal. It's found in the environment. It's an environmental toxin, but it has no physiological function.
Okay, do you see how the video starts out by letting you know what lead is? It does go in deep detail about lead and how it can affect you. Really very informative video. But the things that we do need to focus on is what we can do about the situation, because we can't live scared, right? So what you need to do today, number one, check your pantry if you got cinnamon from one of those recall brands, throw it out. Don't even second guess it. Two, stick to trusted names like McCormick, Great Value, or Good and Gather. Those tested low for contamination. Okay. Three, for the protein powders, look for ones that have third party testing on the label. And what that means is that the other companies tested it as well for metals and toxins. You can look for certifications like NSF, USP, or Informed Choice. Four, don't overuse your supplements. More isn't always better. You can get your protein from real food. Like, go ahead and get you a couple of those eggs, maybe some chicken, beans, and skip the powder altogether sometimes. And then five, rotate your brands. You know, when we find something that we like, we always want to stick to that thing forever. But don't just use the one. That way, if something becomes off, then you're not overloading your system with the same contaminant. So just keep it real. After hearing this, are you checking your labels more carefully going forward? Or do you think we've already been exposed to so much stuff, it don't even matter anymore? I really want to know where your head is at. But to get to this informative video, which is a really good YouTube channel, here is that information here, JJ Medicine, and that is the name of the video. Definitely go check that out. Also subscribe because this channel has really good informative things as well outside of this video. My take is, before I close everything out, it's not just about sentimental protein. It's about how careless a lot of these companies are with our health. They will literally slap natural, organic, or clean on a label, but meanwhile, it's got lead, arsenic, and something that'll misheal the lungs her, right? And the worst part, they know most of us ain't gonna check none of that stuff. We just trust the label, right? So now, going forward, it will be up to us. We got to be smarter shoppers, ask questions, and hold the brands accountable, because if we don't, then who will? And then my last question before I go is, do you think companies should be fined or shut down for selling products with lead in them, even if they don't know about it? Or do you think it's more about better testing and transparency? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear from everybody on this one. So again, bottom line is, check your pantry, check your protein, and check these companies. Do not forget that. Now, if you learned something new today, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your people, especially the gym heads and the smoothie lovers, because somebody right now is sipping on a clean shake that is not so clean. Until next time, family, stay alert, stay healthy, and don't let nobody play with your food or your health. Peace.